Today we are going to show you how to install the Tesla roof rack system for the Model Y. It's summertime. Maybe you're looking to throw a kayak up there and head to the lake. Maybe you're taking a summer trip in your Model Y and need to expand the storage capabilities. Either way, we're going to show you the step-by-step guide on how to install the roof rack system made by Tesla for the Model Y. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. As you guys know, in these do-it-yourself how-to install videos I typically do, usually it's just me going ahead and then we show Michelle later and we get her input and then her take on it.
You just needed an expert for this one.
I was involved in a little bit of a bicycle crash yesterday. I was avoiding an overgrown tree. I went down into the grass and unfortunately the grass was overgrown too, so I couldn't see that it was like a 2-inch lift to get back up. And well, let's just say it ended up with me in a bush, face first, on my entire left side. So
like only his feet sticking out of the bush.
Bruised a few ribs, so I'm a little banged up, so Michelle offered to step in and to help out. But this is a very easy install. In fact, it should only take about 15-20 minutes to do at most, and it really can't be done by yourself. So
until I install it.
So don't be afraid of taking this one on. It's pretty easy. Now, as of filming this video, the roof system runs about $500 from Tesla if you buy it directly from them. Personally, I think it actually gives it a cool little look. So what do we say we go get started and see what's in it? Here we have the system itself. Now the nice thing is this system will include everything we need to do the install, including all the tools that we're gonna need. So let's check it out and see what comes in the box. So we start off with the roof rack themselves, and they even include a sticker to let you know. This end is a little bit thicker, and then this end is tailed off on the back end, much like what you would find on like an airplane wing, where the front end is a little bit thicker and then it gets thinner as you get to the back end of it, again, for aerodynamic purposes. In this package comes the set of keys. This is to actually lock the bars onto the car so nobody can steal them. Measuring tape, going to get an 8mm Allen wrench key, and a plastic tool that we're going to use to actually push back the weather stripping so we can place these hooks in, which these are the hooks that are actually going to hold everything onto the car itself. And then these are the hand turn wing nuts to secure the system on, 4 of them. And then these are the actual brackets themselves right here. Your instruction manual. Don't need that. These are the actual abrasion pads. So it's basically like a little clear sticker that we're actually going to place on the car to protect the paint surface itself. Now, one thing to take note on this is in the corner, it actually shows you in this little picture here where each is meant to go. So this is the passenger side, the rear by the rear wheel. That would be passenger front wheel, driver front wheel, driver rear wheel. Very key that you're putting the right one in the right spot. And then last but not least is the actual covers themselves. They're the actual covers that are gonna go on the outside to make it all look nice and neat. Let's go ahead and let's get started with this install. It's super easy. Now, step 1, we're gonna take some waterless wash and we're gonna take a microfiber towel. I'll throw links to both of these items down in the description in case you need them. And we're just gonna clean off the top of the car and we're gonna make it look nice and shiny so when we put the stuff down, there's no dirt. Oh, you're just gonna be working with this area here and the glass. So we're just gonna spray this down and come back with our microfiber. All right, that side looks good. Let's go do the other. Now I really like the waterless wash because it allows you to go ahead and clean it without having to like take out a whole bucket and get a hose and do all that stuff. And it still gives you that nice shine.
Cleaning the whole car after this?
Negative. No. Nice thought though. Right, so now we're gonna take the included tape measure, and you'll notice at the very front of the tape measure, but the arrow, that is where you want this line right here over the front edge of the glass, right here. Not the windshield, but the actual roof glass. So you want it to sit like right about there, and then you're gonna measure out. Now, Tesla was extremely slick in what they did. They actually thought ahead, knew that this roof rack system was going to be coming out when they designed it, and they actually etched arrows on where to install everything into the glass. But you don't see it. You actually have to use a pretty strong flashlight, and you'll see it. It's actually etched into the glass. It's really cool. Now, when you're using the measuring tape, one side of it is inches, the other side of it is in centimeters. I'm gonna be using the inch side. So in the front one, it's actually about 9 inches or so from that front marker. We're gonna place our marker here at the front of the roof glass, and then we're going to hold our measuring tape out. Don't judge me, this is the only strong flashlight I have that's charged and working. But if we take the flashlight right around that 9mm mark, you'll see an arrow right there. And if you look to the left and right, you'll see 2 lines as well. So here's our arrow. If I come towards me, there's a line right there. And then if I go the opposite way, there's our arrow. If I go the opposite way, there's the other line. The lines are the edges of where we're going to put that adhesive protection tape. And then we're going to line the arrow up right here to the arrow that's on the protection tape. You're going to take your 3M protection tape, you're just going to peel the back end of it, and you'll see there's a little arrow on there. That arrow we want to line up with the arrow in the glass. This is where it could be helpful if you had a second person, because you can have one person hold the light up while you're kind of measuring this out so this lines up good. If you have the ability to have a second person handy, it would help, but you don't necessarily need the second person. There we go. And then this is a little bit difficult for short people. So I can make sure I get this straight. Yep, looks good. Then you go ahead and press it down. Try and not let any bubbles get in there. So start up on this top edge by the glass and then work your way down. I'm actually going to show you a tip on how to do this easily on the next one. And then just try to work all those bubbles out. Find our arrow first. There's our marker. There's our arrow right here. Here's my little trick, my little tip for you guys. When you take the sticker off, if you move it about halfway up the backing and still leave the sticker on most of the backing but leave the top edge exposed, this will give you more space to work with, so you can kind of line it up right and you don't have to worry about all this back end stuff touching and then sticking to the actual car. So it'll give you a chance to kind of get a look. See, and now nothing's really sticking because the paper is, so I can now just go ahead and push down on the adhesive, get that in place, and then I can just come back, fold it up, and then I just pull the paper down, and it'll give me a perfect bubbleless install every time. The next step is we're going to use this. This is actually going to help us get into the weather stripping and to pull the weather stripping in a little bit so we can slip the actual stud itself in place. You're just going to slip this in, get it right behind the weather stripping so you can see that weather stripping go back. And you can see as I pull back, I'm pulling the weather stripping up, right? So you're just going to slide this back to where our marker is. And then we're gonna grab our bolt. Now this has a hook on it. It's like a J hook right down here. So we're gonna slide this in this way, and then we're going to turn this so the hook gets underneath and grabs on. So we're first gonna pull the weather stripping back, then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna place our hook in, and then you're just gonna slide it down like that, slide it out of the way, and slide it up. And now the hook is in place with our marker and our arrow right here. Right up to our spot, which is right here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this back. I'll take my hook, slide it in, and it just pops right in. Slide my hook out, there we go. Next, we're gonna install the actual brackets themselves. Now you gotta pay attention because here's that same little design that's going to show us exactly which one is which. Now you'll see there's the arrow, so that's the front of the car. This is the driver's side, this is the driver rear one. I got my driver front one. You're just going to rest this slot right here into our hook, and in that big hole there in the middle, that's where the stud itself is going to slide through. So we're just going to go ahead and slide it on. This is like a silicone rubber, so you can feel it's nice and soft, it's pliable, it's easy to work with. As you push it down, this stud slides right into it nice and easy. It's flexible. It's really flexible. It's pliable. It's just like a silicone. Slide it over the rear driver, and again, we're gonna find our slit right there. Have the stud go right through. Just press it down. And it's right in, super easy. We're almost at the end. The next step is to actually put on the crossbars themselves. The hole right here on the bottom is gonna slide right into those bolts that we just installed on the roof. The important thing is to make sure, again, and it shows you on the sticker, but the thin edge is in the back of the car and the thick blunt edge is in the front. You're just gonna go ahead and put the other one over above the bolt we just installed. Like that. This one goes over the bolt we just installed over here. Michelle's end is in over there, and then my end pops in, and boom, just like that, it's seated in there, it's locked in, it's good to go. Now we're gonna take these wing nut on the top and we're gonna screw them, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna hand tighten them to start with. There are notches. You can see that notch right there. You'll also notice that there's a notch right here on the actual brace itself. It's important that we make sure when we're done tightening this that those two notches are lined up. Now the reason for this is because there's actually a spacer, a gap right here at the bottom of the bolt, and that allows the locking mechanism to slide into place. So when we lock this in, this can't be loosened or tightened, so nobody can steal it. It also can't accidentally fall off the car either. So we want to make sure after we're done tightening it that we line these two markers up, so that way when we lock it, it's going to be good to go. You don't want to over tighten these. You don't want to damage anything. So when you're using your Allen key to tighten this, most people will do it like this because it gives you a nice handle, gives you a lot of leverage. I actually recommend going this way. It prevents you from over tightening it because you don't get as much leverage on it. Stop right here. I'm going to line that up. And there we go. That's good. Now the next step is we want to lock them. So now that we put them on, now we need to lock them with the provided key that they give us. It's very easy to do, and what's going to happen is when we lock it, see this little space right here in the bolt? You're going to see the lock mechanism's actually going to pop up there as I lock this. All we're going to do is we're going to stick our key right in here, and we're going to lock it. Simple as that. Now the last step we have is to finish the aesthetics of it all, because these are now locked on, they're good to go. We're gonna go ahead and use the provided covers to go ahead and finish off the look. And you'll see each one only goes on a specific one. This one's for the front, this one's actually gonna be for the rear. So I'm gonna go ahead, and these just pop right on. There we go. They just pop right on like that. The inside has these two little dimples that come out. They're gonna go right in here, and then you just kind of snap the top into place. So they go in there. And then the top snaps into place.
It's getting better. Should we film 3 and 4 and see if it gets even better?
Yes, go ahead. We can film 3 and 4. Bottom. Top. Ah, that was real easy.
Oh, we're back to struggling.
And it's in. And there you have it. There is the Model Y roof system by Tesla. One note, so this system was designed to go on and off very easily. You can easily pull everything off, just do the reverse order of it all. Now, as far as those pads go, first of all, if you have full PPF on your car and you have it going all the way up those panels, you actually don't even need to use them in that beginning step. If you don't have PPF, first of all, call Grant over at Menards because you should have PPF. But if you don't have PPF, you can actually use any type of small little PPF tape or 3M makes general ones that you can buy for roof racks. They're like a square. They're not going to be cut to that exact size. So if you want, you could take like that base, put it over it, draw a circle, then cut it out if you want. But 3M makes them. I'll go ahead and I'll drop a link down to it in the description below if you want to pick up some extra pads in case you want to take it on and off. Me personally, I kind of like the way it looks. What do you think?
It matches everything. It looks great.
Yeah, I mean, we're always talking about how, especially our blue Model Y, we feel like that's kind of the common color we see out there a lot, outside of white, obviously. And we're always trying to find ways to kind of like get ours to stand out a little bit. I think that's a way to help it stand out.
I'm sure I'll still walk to the wrong car, but...
How? But as you can tell, it's a very simple, easy install. Well, hopefully you guys found this how-to video helpful. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button, please.
And if you haven't already, subscribe so that you can see all those weekly videos and some bonus videos along the way.
Thanks as always, guys. We appreciate your support, and
See you the next time.
we'll see you real soon in the next one.